right, y'all, get comfy because today we're spilling some international tea. The world was spiraling. Dictators were strutting, and the US was doing its best and not my problem impression. Spoiler alert, it became our problem fast. All right, first, let's talk the villains. Adolf Hitler took control of Germany in the early 1930s, and he was not exactly subtle about wanting power. He blamed the Treaty of Versailles for Germany's struggles, used the Great Depression to gain support, and promised to restore Germany to its former glory. Red flags everywhere. In Italy, Benito Mussolini was like, democracy? Ew. He marched in with fascism, which is basically a political system that says the government is always right, the leader is like a god, and if you disagree, sit down or we'll make you sit down. It's all about power, control, and crushing opposition. And over there in Japan, Prime Minister Tojo wanted a whole empire across Asia, and he was ready to fight for it. Alright, so over here in Europe, Germany annexed Austria. Then they got a slice of Czechoslovakia called the Sudetenland at the Munich conference because Britain and France were like, let's just appease him so he doesn't start a war. Spoiler, he started a war anyway. Then, in September of 1939, Hitler invaded Poland and boom, World War II officially begins in Europe. France, still war-weary from World War I, bless her, collapsed in just 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Britain stood alone against the Nazis, and Prime Minister Winston Churchill, he was not giving up. He literally said, "We shall fight on the beaches! We shall never surrender!" Whew, that man could give a pep talk. Meanwhile, the US was over here like, hard pass. The Senate had rejected the League of Nations after World War I. People were still recovering from the Great Depression, and Americans weren't in the mood for another global drama. Groups like America First were all about keeping out of it. Yes, even Charles Lindbergh was in on that. The Neutrality Acts helped to keep us uninvolved, but President Roosevelt, he saw the writing on the wall. He knew that fascism wasn't going to stay in Europe's corner forever. He called the U.S. the arsenal of democracy and passed the Lend-Lease Act, sending ships, tanks, and supplies to help Britain and the Soviet Union. Basically, we're not fighting, but here's a tank. Stay safe, besties. But while Europe burned, Japan was making major moves over there in Asia. He was invading Manchuria, then attacking China. The U.S. said, that's enough, and froze Japanese assets and cut off oil. No oil means no empire, and Tojo was furious. Then, one quiet Sunday morning, the sky exploded.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
Japan had bombed Pearl Harbor. Over 2,400 Americans had died. Battleships were destroyed. Planes exploded midair. It was a full-on surprise attack, and America was stunned. FDR went to Congress the next day. He didn't beg. He declared. In Congress, 82-0 in the Senate, 388-1 in the House, the United States was officially at war with Japan. And then, Germany and Italy declared war on us. And just like that, we were in a two-front war, Europe and the Pacific. Allies versus Axis, and baby, we were in it. What followed next was the biggest military mobilization in American history. Millions enlisted, factories retooled, women took over the workforce, and the world would never be the same. So next time someone says America was late to the war, just remember, we didn't start it, but once we showed up, we were in it to win it. In our next episode, we'll feature the boots on the ground drama in Europe and North Africa, featuring a little general named Eisenhower. Don't miss it. And as always, history doesn't just repeat itself, it just boils a new pot.